this video we're going to look at calculating the median. The median is an example of an average, and to work it out you need to find the middle number when those numbers are in order. So let's look at this with an example. Here's the numbers 184, 3572. The first thing we need to realise is that these numbers currently aren't in order, so we need to put them in order. You'd have 1 as the lowest, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 and 8. So we've put them in order, we need to find the middle number. To do this, you cross off pairs of numbers, the smallest and the biggest. So the smallest is 1 and the largest here is 8, you cross those two off as a pair. Then you cross off 2 and 7 as a pair, they're the next smallest and the next biggest. And then you cross off the next two, which are 3 and 5, and you're left with a middle number, which happens to be the answer. So the median for this question equals 4. Right, for this next question, it's slightly more difficult and something different will happen when you attempt to find the median. So let's begin by putting them in order again. 7 is the smallest, then we have 10, then 12, 17, 18 and 29. And then let's go ahead and cross them off. And if we start with 7 being the smallest and 29 being the largest, then we cross off 10 and 18 together as a pair. Now, if I was to cross off 12 now, I would also have to cross off 17, and there'd be no numbers left. So what we end up with is actually two middle numbers, 12 and 17. Now they can't both be the median, so what we do is we find the number that would be halfway between 12 and 17, right in the middle. Now there's two ways to do this. The first way is you could add those two numbers together, 12 plus 17, which would give you 29, and then half that. So if you half 29, you get 14.5, and that is right in the middle of 12 and 17, so that must be our answer to the median. The second approach is to say, well, what's the difference between the numbers? So 17 take away 12, that's 5, and then 5 divided by 2, that's 2.5. Now what that's saying is the distance between these numbers is 5, and half of that distance is 2.5. So if we add that on to 12, we'll get what's halfway between the numbers. So 12 plus 2.5 equals 14.5, which is what we got doing it the other way as well. So the median is 14.5. It doesn't matter which way you do, as long as you show you're working out in full. Okay, here's some questions for you to have a go at. Press pause and have a go, and then press play again and I'll take you through the answers. Okay, here are the answers. For the first question, the numbers are already in order, which is quite nice. So if we cross off 4, 20, 8 and 12, we're left with a median of 9. For the next question, we need to put them in order. You get 1, 2, 6, 8 and 9, and in a similar way, when you cross these off, you end up with 6 being your median. For the next one, we do 2, 3, 6, 7, 10 and 11, and when you cross these off, you get that situation again where you end up with two middle numbers. So in between 6 and 7, you get a median of 6.5. And a similar thing for the next question. When we put these in order, we get 3, 8, 11, 13, 15 and 19. And when you cross these off, you end up with 11 and 13 as your middle numbers. So in between 11 and 13 is 12. And for this final question, 1, 3, 5, 5, 6 and 9. And again, you end up with two middle numbers, but in this one, the two middle numbers are both 5, which actually makes the median 5, because there's no number in between 5 and 5. The answer is just 5.